what's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with Week 6 of the NFL 2015. Last week I went 9-5, so I thought I did pretty good. This week I'm gonna quickly go ahead and go through them. The teams that have byes this week are the Dallas Cowboys, Oakland Raiders, St. Louis Rams, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As I usually do on Thursdays on Twitter, I usually pick who I think is going to win before the game. I picked Atlanta. They lost, so I'm starting out 0-1. Let's quickly go ahead and get through the picks. Washington Redskins head to New York, play the Jets. I'm going to take the Jets in this game. I think their defense is really good. The cornerbacks they've been really good. The running game has been good. Brandon Marshall's been good. And like I said, the only issue with the Jets, mainly from an offensive standpoint, is Fitzpatrick. Which one are you gonna get? You're gonna get the guy who, from a couple years back when the Bills was playing really well. You're gonna get the guy who has been on multiple teams the last few years. Inconsistency with accuracy. But I'm going to pick the Jets to win this one on the back of defense and that running game alone. Next game, Arizona Cardinals head to Pittsburgh, play the Steelers. Now, the Cardinals have been putting up a lot of points on people. They put up 42 on Detroit. I believe they put up 42 on Chicago. They put up 40 on the 49ers. So they've been putting up points on people, and it's mainly come from turnover. The offense hasn't really had to do a lot because in a lot of these games they are up big. Mainly off turnovers. Pittsburgh, they were able to get a win in San Diego, but I don't know. They just haven't been able to open up the offense with Mike Vick. I'm gonna go with Arizona. Although the Steelers' defense has stepped up their game, especially with Big Ben being out. I'm still gonna take Arizona in this one. Next game, the Kansas City Chiefs head to Minnesota to play the Vikings. Unfortunately, the Kansas City Chiefs did lose Jamal Charles. That's unfortunate. They just haven't, even with him in the lineup, he was playing well. But Alex Smith, offensive line, they haven't been able. It's a lot of dink, nothing really down the field to make that other team's defense respected. I'm gonna take the Vikings. They've definitely been a surprise. I would say the only issue is the offensive line. But Adrian Peterson, as you can see, he still can play. Still has the fumbling issue, but he still is really good. And the defense has been a surprise. I'm going to take the Vikings at home. The next game, Cincinnati Bengals head to Buffalo to play the Bills. The Buffalo Bills eked out a win against Tennessee, 14-13. The Bengals had a comeback win against Seattle. I'm going to take the Bengals. They've been playing really good football. The defense has stepped up. Carlos Dunlap has been a beast. I think he's tied for first in sacks with 5. So, I like what I saw from the defense. Offensively, Andy Dalton, we don't know what we're going to get in the playoffs or at the end of the season, but he is playing good football right now. Tyler Eifert, A.J. Green, Mohamed Sanu, these guys are playing really good. So I'm going to take the Bengals. And that also includes that running game, which has been good. I'm going to take the Bengals win in Buffalo. Next game, Chicago Bears head to Detroit to play the Lions. And, coming to this season, I wouldn't have said the Chicago Bears would have been, at this point, better off than the Detroit. But Detroit has been they've been a disaster. They ended up benching Stafford, who he was playing terrible. Offensive line hasn't done a good job. Left and right tackle are not good. But even when he's given time, he's just not making the throws. Calvin Johnson, it's kind of a shame to see, he's past his prime. That's obvious. So Detroit, man, a lot of Detroit fans want Jim Caldwell gone, and I think they lose this game. He's definitely probably out the door. I'm gonna take Chicago. Chicago, they won their last 2. It wasn't against great teams, but I thought they played better. Detroit just looked horrible, albeit they played better teams. I'm gonna take Chicago in this one. Next game, the Denver Broncos head to Cleveland to play the Browns. Browns coming off an overtime win against Baltimore. I'm still wondering when they're gonna start Manziel, but who knows when that happens. And I'm not big on the Manziel thing, but I thought when he played in week 2, I thought he played really well. Just gotta give him another chance. Denver, it's crazy if with the case with Denver, and it's crazy to see a Peyton Manning-led offense just not be that great, especially throughout the regular season, and the defense to carry him. He's never really had that. But the defense has been carrying this team. Defense has been one of the best in football. And seeing as Broncos running game, it wasn't what it was last year, and Peyton just hasn't been making the throws. I'm gonna take Denver in this one. Next game, the Houston Texans head to Jacksonville, play Jaguars. Jacksonville got a win against Tampa Bay, 38-31. Pretty high scoring game. I'm gonna take Houston. I believe Blake Bortles is injured, so I'm gonna take Houston in this one. J.J. Watt still, I think, a game time decision, but I think Hoyer played well. He just made one bad throw that cost him the game. He played well for the majority of the game. They had a chance to win that game. Next game, Miami Dolphins head to Tennessee to play the Titans. Miami Dolphins, another train wreck team. New coach. They fired the other coach after 4 weeks, so they didn't. They haven't had the greatest start. Tennessee has been up and down. They got a rookie quarterback, Mariota, so we don't know what to expect from them as a team. I'm gonna take Tennessee. Miami's been bad. That defensive line hasn't been as good as I thought they could have been. So I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Next game, Carolina Panthers head to Seattle to play the Seahawks. Seahawks, their offensive line hasn't done a good job of protecting Russell Wilson. The defense, defense gave some plays. That Cincinnati team's good, but the defense gave up some plays. They allowed them to come back. The offense didn't help much by increasing the league or longer possessions. Russell Wilson's back there running for his life. Marshawn Lynch, I believe, will play this week, but I'm gonna go with the Panthers, of course. Hometown bias or home state bias. Next game, San Diego Chargers head to Green Bay to play the Packers. San Diego blew that game. It's as simple as that. They blew that game. They couldn't, the defense couldn't get a stop. And then now you're heading to Green Bay to play Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to go over well. I'm taking Green Bay. Green Bay's running game is underrated. The defense is underrated. And we know what Aaron Rodgers can do. Despite, his receiving core, he constantly guys getting nicked up. Of course, no Jordy Nelson for the year. He still found a way to play well. Next game, the Baltimore Ravens head to San Francisco to play the Niners. San Francisco had a chance against the Giants. They ended up, the defense couldn't get off the field. A few penalties hurt them, and they lost the game. I thought Kaepernick played much better than he did the 3 games prior to that. And Baltimore hasn't been that great either. I think I'm going to go with San Francisco. And it's crazy. These teams are a few years removed from playing against each other in the Super Bowl. And it's like completely, these teams are completely different in terms of personnel. And it's like, they lost, majority of these teams lost all their guys. And it's just a shell of what they were a few years ago. I'm going to go with San Francisco. Yeah. Mainly just going with them, their home team, because you can really flip a coin on this one because both teams are playing bad football. The next game, New England Patriots head to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Andrew Luck, I'm assuming, is going to play, but he's coming off an injury, so there's a chance he's not 100%. This is the Sunday night game. And New England has been putting up a lot of points against teams. I've got New England all day. The Colts have definitely been a disappointment. The offensive line hasn't been that good. And Andre Johnson, washed. Next game, the Monday night game, the New York Giants head to Philly to play the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Giants in this one. I thought we don't know the status of Odell Beckham. I'm pretty sure he'll probably play. He ended up finishing out the game against the Niners. Philly has definitely turned their season around. They lost one to Washington, but I think they had a pretty good show. They had a really good showing last week against Saints, and they had a good showing 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago against the Washington Redskins. The New York Jets. I'm still gonna go with the Giants on this one though. And let me know what your picks of the week, your game of the week, and how you've been doing the entire season. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. Thanks for watching.